a seat, we'll get started. All right, welcome to the first town hall of 2023. We do this every quarter. So the format that we have is I'm going to start off and talk about a few things going on in the county. Then we're going to open up the microphone for anything that you want to talk about. Tonight, our special focus is on the park master plans. So if you hadn't had a chance, before you leave, we want you to go around and look at all the park master plans. All right. Even if you're here for only one reason, please take a look at all of them. There'll be staff back there and volunteers from our Recreational Affairs Committee to take comments that you may have on this, on the master plans. Right. So really excited to have a great big crowd here tonight. This doesn't happen all the time, so maybe we need to do park master plans all the time. I do want to start off with a couple announcements. Our comprehensive plan update open house is on March the 29th, and that's from 3 to 7 p.m. at Oconee Veterans Park. So the comp plan is our policy document that guides board commissioner decisions on land related to land use. We've already received comments through focus groups, a community survey, and also a land use charrette. So your next opportunity to comment on the comprehensive plan is March the 29th. This is a drop-in, so you can come in, look, ask your questions, and make your comments. And it's from 3 to 7 at Oconee Veterans Park. Also on 15 South at Summit Grove, right near Fire Station 1, there'll be a traffic shift on Friday. So if you travel that way, they're going to be constructing the roundabout, so expect some delays over the next couple months as they go through that. Also want to announce that our last meeting, Oconee County was designated as a Plan First community by the Department of Community Affairs. Plan First is based on successful implementation of the comprehensive plan that we're currently under review on. Also, our ongoing commitment to planning, as well as significant community input. Also want to say thanks to all the citizens that voted to put T-Splost in. That was a close vote. We want to prove to you that you made the right decision. So you're going to see a lot of activity on road maintenance coming up. Your sales tax rate will change on April the 1st. So go from 7% to 8% for sales tax. With that, the Board of Commissioners will be dropping the millage rate by 1 mil when we do our budget, or we set the millage rate this year. We're also looking at making some changes to our homestead exemption program. Currently, there are exemptions for seniors over 65. One of the problems with that is you have to know about that exemption. You have to go to the tax commissioner and file for that exemption and go turn in paperwork and fill all that stuff out. So we want to make some changes to it that'll make it easier and more equitable to all the citizens. So with that, we're going to try to make it a 65. When you turn 65, you'll automatically get an assessment freeze on your property values. We're going to increase the general homestead from $2,000 to $5,000. When you turn 75, you'll get another automatic $10,000 homestead exemption. And then in 2035, we'll double the 5,000 general homestead to 10,000. And with that, we'll be sunsetting these other exemptions that require you to come in and apply for them. So to make these changes, legislation has to be introduced to the General Assembly, be passed. It then comes to you, the voters, to vote for those changes to come into play. And then the earliest this can take effect is July 1 of 2025. So the bills have been introduced. The only problem is we're getting rid of some older stuff. We're bringing in new stuff. So there's a total of 10 bills that were introduced in the General Assembly on Monday. And so we expect those to go through over the next couple of weeks and get passed. And then when you go to the ballot box in the spring of 2024 for the primary, you'll have 10 ballot questions on your ballot. All right. And every one of those 10 have to pass for us to be able to implement these changes. So if you think what we're talking about is good, we need your help educating folks to vote yes on all 10 questions. All right, internet project is underway. They're putting in backbones now. I know some customers have already been connected, so we're expecting that to complete in the spring of 2024. So that is moving forward. So if you're here and you can't stay for the whole meeting, very important that you spend some time looking at the master plans and leaving your comments. So if you feel like you have to leave early, just jump up and go ahead, go back there and leave your comments. With that, we're going to open up the microphone. We ask you to come up and tell us who you are. And then if you have a question or comment, either on the master plan or anything else that you have, just get going.
Thank you, Jeff Hood from Julian Court in Watkinsville. HB 189 has passed the House. That is the bill that would increase the weight limit, legal limit in Georgia for tractor trailers to go from 80,000 pounds to 90,000 pounds. And our two Oconee County representatives voted opposite ways, and it slipped. It did pass the House. Now it's sitting in the Senate. They've got 3 days to do something with it. So my question to really all of you, or anyone that wants to chime in, I think, John, you're opposed to it, but I'm curious what you gentlemen think about tractor trailers being able to go from 80,000 pounds to 90,000 pounds legally in this state.
Yep. So I did come out against that bill. Right now it went to Senate Transportation earlier this week, and they've narrowed down the focus. So there was a big rush because the executive order allowed trucks to travel at 95,000 pounds. However, it was a very limited number of commodities, and those all had to file for a permit with Georgia Department of Transportation. Whereas this bill 189 just opened it up for originally any truck carrying any commodity. So the Senate has narrowed it down so that it's only addresses the two commodities that were in the governor's emergency order, and it will expire in 2024 of July, June 30th, 2024. And they're going to work over the summer to try to figure out something, do a little more negotiating with the stakeholders. But we do think that would have an impact to just turn trucks loose at 88 or 90,000 pounds for us. Anybody want to? All right, don't be shy.
Hi, my name is Christina Meistrick. I live out Red Oak Court near down Barnett Shoals. I forgot what else I need to provide information. I just started playing tennis with the Women's League, and I absolutely love it. And I notice a lot of people picking up racket sports, and I just want to kind of put it out there and ask if maybe we can add some tennis walls. So if I come alone with my racket and ball, I can practice and get a good workout. I ran into some people over the weekend, and an older gentleman came and he wanted to play, and I played pickleball for the first time in my life with him. But I kind of wanted to put it out there and see if anyone who does the racket sports would be interested in also kind of voting towards maybe incorporating a solid wall, even if it's a back of a building where we can just put like take out the landscaping or just put something flat and a fence around it. So I just want to bring that up.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Will Brown. I'm a resident here since 2004. And I just wanted to voice my support for the new soccer fields over by North Oconee. I'm also, in addition to parent of a couple soccer players, the president, board of directors for Oconee Football Club. And I want to express our appreciation to the Parks and Rec Department for supporting us, but they're really stretched thin with the number of soccer fields we have. And it's pushing the kids either to practice later or on a smaller and smaller portion of the field. And we desperately need additional field space. So thank you.
All right, gentlemen, I'm Philip Bernardi. I live at Hammond Creek Trail in Watkinsville. Couple things. One, I'd like to thank the commission for all the work that y'all have done. You know, balancing a budget with demands from the community as a whole is never an easy thing to do. I do think that as a community, you look to things like quality of life. The park system is a big piece of any rankings that you see for Oconee County as to the quality of life that we have here. Couple things that I think are important to note. Soccer, we've had a 21.6% increase in participants. Tackle football, 26.5% increase. Cheer, 50% increase. Flag football, 44% increase. Youth basketball, we've had 15.8% increase with not one new field built since 2018. I think it's important that we continue to focus on that. Again, I understand the balancing of the budget. We have the new parks coming online, but it can't get here fast enough. Getting out of OVP, has anybody tried to get out of OVP on a Monday at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 15, 20 minutes? It's not easy. Using the back entrance is great, but getting in there is very difficult. I appreciate all of the support you've had for the parks. It needs to continue. It's important to continue. And I just can't thank you enough for considering the parks that we have back here. It's going to be big for us, for young families. My daughter's one of those that plays at OVP. Pray for my son. My wife's coaching him at 4-year-old soccer right now, so that may not end well. But thank y'all for your support and continued support. The parks are important. As a member of the Oconee Parks Foundation, we're seeking private donors into the park, trying to bring private money like the project at Rocket Field that you saw. That wasn't us, but it's something we're trying to do because it takes private money, public money, and a combination to make our parks great. So I'd love to get some feedback on that from you all. Thank you.
We're always interested in people want to give us money. So if you can help out with that, would be great.
Hello again. My name is Amanda McCoy. I've been a resident here for a while. I'm not going to tell my life story. I am here to talk about Heritage Park, and we have some horse people here today that in the interest of saving y'all some time, I wanted to just kind of do a show of hands type thing. So first, let me say, I noticed that there is a bike event this weekend at Heritage Park, and I am so happy that they have a safe place to have a competition. And the things that we're asking for and just this initial push will make the facility safe for us to also have competitions there, us horse people. So we really need that warm-up arena in addition to getting the footing fixed and the covered and the fence. So if you're here to support Heritage Park Arenas, can you stand? If you, can you sit down if you think we don't need a warm-up arena outside? Okay. So I'm gonna save my time and let other horse people talk if they have anything to add. I just wanted you guys to help you see that we really need that warm-up arena in addition to the covered. So also thank you for allocating money. I'm so grateful.
Good evening, gentlemen. Brian Broderick, 117 South Main Street. I'm here wearing two hats. The first one is as a longtime Oconee County citizen. The second one is as the mayor of Watkinsville. Wearing my citizen hat, I just want to thank all y'all for the trail plan, the Blue Ways, and the Hog Mountain Trail. All the rest of those ideas are overdue and really exciting to see that coming. So thank y'all for putting pen to paper and making that happen. I think I grew up running on the roads in Oconee County. It becomes less and less feasible over time. I lived in Northwest Woods. I ran probably every bit of that Hog Mountain loop when I was training for cross country in high school. Love those roads, but kids today can't run on those roads. They're a little busier than they used to be. So I'm really excited that families and others may be able to use that. I think it's a really wise investment in public health and community building. When I put my Watkinsville hat on, I want to tell y'all two things. Number one, the rail trail potential project is one of the highest priorities for us, and I keep hearing about it from our citizens. I think it could be transformative from a public health standpoint,
from a public safety standpoint, from a transportation standpoint, and an economic development standpoint. Really positive for the county. I know that that's a long-term project and there's a lot of things that would need to be worked out, but I just want to give our full support to that, speaking on behalf of the mayor and council and hundreds, if not thousands of citizens of Watkinsville who support that project. I'm a neighbor to that line, and I think it would be transformative. Secondly, I just wanted to encourage you guys. We'd love to partner with you guys in the city as there's other recreational opportunities. We don't have a rec department, nor do we have the resources that y'all do. But I would love to see additional recreational opportunities in Watkinsville. So if we can get creative and think about what those may be. So there's not as many parks just on the north side of the county, but we can think a little bit more about access on the southern end of the county. We'd be happy to partner with you guys and talk about that. But thank you for your leadership and thank you for great plans and continue to invest in our quality of life.
Hello, my name is Kelly Price, and this is Lindsay McElroy. We are both also Oconee residents. We are here on behalf of swim teams. I don't know how much you all personally know about the Oconee Swim League, but we function separately from the Oconee County Parks and Rec Department because there is no county pool. And the private pools in the area provide swim teams. There are over 700 kids in the county and from surrounding areas that swim in the Oconee Swim League. It is completely run by volunteer moms. And we struggle every year because our county is growing and we are at capacity. We are doing as much as we can do. Our kids, Lindsay and I both have kids that swim year round. They love it. Our high school teams they practice at Summer Hill. There's only 4 indoor lanes there. They vie for space there. I think a county pool could benefit everybody recreationally. I know I personally run the team at Shamrock, and the owner there has people approach her daily asking if they can pay to swim because there is nowhere to swim in the summer unless you are a member of a private pool. And I would like to know, I have been told by a Parks and Rec person at our last OSL meeting that it was on the 10-year plan. I know that it has been on plans from 2004. I know that the issues are, you guys are worried about maintenance costs. So is it on the plan? Can we get it on the plan? I would also like all the swim people here to stand up because there's a lot of swim people who came from different teams. This is all the different swim teams. This is Oconee Club, Shamrock, Summer Hill, Georgia Club, may or may not be here, high school swimmers. We are asking for help. Like, we need Oconee County Parks and Rec help. This year Shamrock is hosting the county meet. We normally do it at Ramsey, but that's costly. It's very expensive. And please, it's hard to get. Madison, Morgan County has a pool. All these neighbors,
Jefferson County's getting a pool this year.
all these neighboring counties have aquatic centers.
We're the only
Please build us an
county
aquatic center.
in the area that doesn't have a pool except for maybe Oglethorpe.
So please build us a pool. And do you have any plans to do so? And when might that happen? So we can quit bugging you about it.
So they're not on the master plans at this point. I think in the early 2000s, there was talk of putting a pool there. We're still paying for OVP right now. It won't be paid off till 2033. And what we're trying to do is where we have limited resources. So the investment initially in the pool is huge. It'd be probably close to what we spend on OVP totally right now in today's dollars. And then there is the ongoing maintenance. So it's not on there now. That's why we're here. If you want to make sure you go by and write that down that you're interested in putting that back on there, that's why we're here tonight. So thank you for coming.
My name is Jacade Long. I'm at 1051 Jones Road in Watkinsville. My family moved here from Griffin, Georgia, for the school systems. My daughter is an active participant in swim, and I'm backing up exactly what those two ladies had to say about the pool, but I want to add a little more to it. My background is in redevelopment of slum and blighted areas. I've worked all over the state of Georgia and other states as well. I actually owned a company. I've dealt with engineering companies. I've dealt with site plans and all sorts of things that had to go along with that. There are many communities, like they stated, next to us that have a pool or will have a pool soon. Pools are not loss leaders like fire engines, right? They can actually generate income if they're managed correctly. Yes, a pool is expensive and the maintenance can be expensive as well. But given the fact there's plenty of statistical information, I have 3 feasibility studies. I come from areas that had public pools, Boone, North Carolina, Davison, North Carolina. Gainesville has a fantastic aquatic center that's successful, has year-round programs. But more importantly, I read a statistic this morning that said that a lot of people that are in the, which is, I would fit this demographic, 50 and over, more susceptible to heart attack, are 50%, according to this study, less likely to have a heart attack through aquatic therapy than walking or other types of activities that they could participate in. So that's pretty interesting. And I do have this information available and I'm willing to share it. And I'm also willing to share the 3 PDFs that I have that shows entire feasibility studies, cost, everything broken down, all the way to having someone clean the toilets. So I believe that it could be, although government's not really in the business of being profitable, I believe that it could be a community treasure. And I think that it would foster an awful lot of support across the community as a whole. Our school systems are bleeding money with their swim teams, paying like the Ramsey facility and other facilities to allow our students to and kids to swim. I think it's $10,000 for North Oconee or somewhere thereabouts to rent facilities. Well, when we swim against these other teams, they're paying as well. So there's a lot of money going out just in the localized swim teams to other facilities, as was pointed out by the 2 individuals that spoke prior, just so that our kids can enjoy a competitive swim and be a participant. And then I look and all this quality planning for the parks and recreation centers, I understand, but I've been on grant writing committees for trails. I have helped build parks, all sorts of things as a contractor. And some of these are lost leaders, like you got to have a fire engine. If there's a fire, you need that fire engine. Trails are nice. Most trails, if you do a feasibility study, are highly underutilized in the communities that they're built in. And they are a massive amount of bleed on resources and finances, most especially, and I had to answer this question in Rockdale County when I was with Rockdale County, with a team of people on a board, how to respond. And we're talking about full-time paid individuals responding to emergencies on the open trails. And there's a giant cost factor involved in just that alone, let alone the maintenance and everything else that comes along with it. So if we're talking about monies and we're talking about redeveloping parks and adding, features to parks, or maybe even building and expanding parks, I feel personally that an aquatic center would be beneficial to the community and could be a net producer, helping to pay for those things you just talked about, like the Veterans Park. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. My name is Paul Allaire. This is Ivor, our canine companion in training. We live on Victoria Road, Watkinsville. We've only lived here 11 years. I'm here to talk about supporting the Rails for Trails. We live on Victoria Road, and it goes right through our neighborhood. Let me just tell you a really quick story. Originally from Buffalo, New York, and they had a really good trail system, Buffalo, North Tonawanda. Then you come to Amherst, and there's a barrier up, and it looks like a weedy, empty lot where the folks in Amherst wouldn't support the next 3 miles of the trail. So I'm a biker, go around, get on a surface road, go 3 miles, come back down, get back on the Rails to Trails through Clarence. It splits off all the way to Akron. It's a really long trail. We'd be walking our dogs, biking, using that trail. So I'm just here to support that. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Lexi. I'm also here with the Athens area horse community. I actually live over in Clark County, but I thought it was important to have our voice here too. I've often come over to Heritage Park to ride on the trails there, and every single time I'm there with anyone, we talk about how unfortunate it is that we have this incredible facility that is unusable because it's just not safe. So, we get out there and go on the trails and walk past this incredibly expensive facility that's just sitting there very sadly unused. So I won't belabor that any longer, but I just wanted to say that not only will you have lots of Oconee County members that are gonna take advantage of that facility, but you'll have lots of community members from outside of Oconee coming in to use it as well. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and the commissioners, my name is Ray Akridge. I've been an Oconee County resident for approximately 30 years. And first, I'd like to thank you all for your service to the community over the years and developing this master plan for our parks and recreation leisure services. It's much appreciated. I'm here tonight representing our pickleball community, and I'd like for our community to stand that's here with us tonight, if they would please momentarily. And just take a few minutes. Thank you so much. Take a few minutes and moments of your time just to be an advocate for pickleball in the Athens area. I am currently a level 1 certified pickleball instructor through the International Pickleball Teaching Professionals Association, as well as an Athens Area Pickleball Association member for the surrounding counties. And I just want to share some information with you tonight. First, I would like to thank you for including in the master plan that I see behind us here at Herman C. Michael, the expansion of the pickleball courts that are coming. I will ask you in a moment about a closer time frame on what that looks like. But I also just want to take a moment to share some information with this sport that some people are familiar with, some people are not. Unfortunately, it is growing exponentially across America, and not only in our area, but in other surrounding counties as well. And if you didn't know, Athens area has some of the best pickleball players in the region that participate not only locally through recreational play, but through tournaments that are also great events to think about future complexes for pickleball, for drawing money into the community through lodging, restaurants, and developing other business associates with those plans. So I think that's a very crucial thing and something to understand. But a part of the information I'd like to share with you briefly tonight is from the Sports and Fitness Industry Association of America. They put out a poll. They're one of the leading pollsters across America for sports and industry every year. And they take a poll based on teams of participants that are 2 million or more participants in that particular sport per year. So last year, and I'm only going to share with you the top 3 growing sports in America, as well as locally here with us in the Oconee County area. And they are tennis, golf, and pickleball. And 2022, according to Sports and Fitness Industry Association of America, number 3 was tennis with a growth of 36% in 1 year. There's great growth in that area. Number 2 is golf with 57% growth, which we have a lot of golfers. I live out in Lane Creek and I see it every day. It's a phenomenal sport. And finally is number 1, to the dismay and unbelief of a lot of people probably, is pickleball, sitting at 159% growth in 2022. So it's information to take at heart as we continue master plans. I appreciate the master plan you developed, like I said, at Herman C. Michael. Appreciate you considering that. And the final thing I'd like to suggest, as I did with the lady in the back earlier, is final court orientation. I know behind the gym, we're looking at a proposed 8 courts. We've had the pleasure and opportunity with Tyler to walk those courts and actually make measurements through our association. And if we turn those east and west, then we can actually have 6 and 6 for a total of 12 lighted courts behind the gym. And then if we turn the others up front, the junior tennis courts, as well as the other 2 we've created east and west, we can have instead of 4, we can have an additional 6 total there. So the measurements do work. They're not tight. I know there were suggestions earlier of really cramming things together. I don't think that's advisable at all. Plus the cost there is not feasible, but the space is available. And we appreciate you looking at that. And if you need more figures or measurements, orientations, when it comes to that, I'll be glad to provide that as well for you. But once again, thank you for your service tonight. And thank you for listening to the pickleball community and this exponentially growing sport in America. Thank you.
So that's been one of our challenges with pickleball we have splinter groups from your group coming and commenting one way or another about what should be and shouldn't be. And so what we would like to see is we don't really care whether there's 8 pickleball courts or 16. All right, but what we need is agreement from your group. That's what if you want to go east, west and look into the sun, present. I've talked to a few folks and said, bring us the engineered plan, the scales drawings showing what you want with your board approval. And then as many signatures on you can get from people that live in Oconee County saying this is the configuration we're looking for.
Sure.
We won't be able to move fences or change any lighting to start with.
Right.
All right. So some of that's going to have to be looked at too, is how those lights.
That's not expected at all.
So if y'all can come back, if you want 12, bring the plan to us.
Sure.
then-
And I think that has been drawn up, but just hasn't been presented yet. And we'll be glad to present that to you as well as the petition that you need for the
Very
county.
good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, good evening. Thank y'all so much for your service. Appreciate y'all and making this the best county in the state and the nation as well. So I'm Trey Beavers. I live on Madison Avenue in Watkinsville, and I'm coming from the point of a parent, but also a volunteer coach. I coach tackle football and baseball and t-ball and coach pitch, those things as well. But one of the things that I've seen tonight and I think is a huge need for this community is the LAS proposal. I think that it is drastically important, not just for the space of football and tackle football and Oconee football, soccer as well, and lacrosse, but also that being able to provide additional baseball and softball fields that are currently being used for other things right now at OVP. And so I don't know if there needs to be any kind of redesign of the length of those fields. I know there's some pretty long ballparks out there, but one thing I do know is I'm not on the committee for the Little League, but those guys are incredible and they are run ragged, and the scheduling they go through and the snafus they go through from the lack of space. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And we need more space desperately. You know, we've got 6 and 7-year-olds out practicing baseball and softball until 9 p.m. at night on a school night. And we need an opportunity for where we can have a growing community, and our community is growing drastically. And the next generation here in this town is vibrant and it's exciting. And I have a lot of passion behind youth sports. It was very impactful for me growing up, and the coaches that impacted me and the decisions that they helped me make growing up. I wouldn't be the same person that I am today if I didn't have those opportunities. And we need more space for football, for soccer, for lacrosse, and baseball and softball in this community. And I also think, which is what you mentioned earlier, John, about the awareness of even the Homestead Exemption Act. If there's ways to create awareness of the needs in the community, like, hey, here is what we would need to help LAS become a reality. You know, I'm even volunteer myself on a committee to let's go raise some money. You know, I do sales and get people to take action, you know, so I am in full support of whatever that may look like. And, you know, I may be naive to the logistics of what that is, but if we can find people and rally people behind a cause to help provide more spaces for youth sports in this community, I'm all behind it. I know there's a lot of people here tonight who are as well. So thank y'all again for your time. I appreciate y'all, and thank you for this county.
So there is a big opportunity on the Recreational Foundation. Get with Philip on the way out. He'll sign you up. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Mary Simpson, and I've lived here for over 30 years. I live out in Farmington, not far from Heritage Park. And I can tell you that they desperately need to have the practice arenas and the trails. I have a lot of people who ride from my farm and people who come to stay at my farm to go ride it. And it would make it much safer for the children and much safer for all of us horse people. And there's a lot of horse people out here in Oconee County. We do gypsy van or horses. We're selling our horses in Indiana and Texas and all over. And we have people come from all over. And it would be nice to be able to have trails for these folks to come. There's so many local children that ride horses, to have safe area for them to ride, so they're not trying to ride on roads and on other things that are not quite as safe. So I just wanted to come and support the horse people. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Jessica Gladney, 1411 Oconee Crossing Circle. I have two issues to bring up. The first one is, of course, the horses. I board 3 horses here in Oconee County, and it is vitally important that we have somewhere safe and nice to compete in this area. Having the arenas upgraded and put in would bring in a lot of revenue to the county, because not only would people be competing from here, they would be hauling in from all over the state. So not only would you be getting the revenue from leasing out the facility for the weekend, people would also eat food in restaurants in Oconee County, fill up their diesel trucks in Oconee County, buy groceries, go to the feed store in Oconee County. So it's not just upgrading the place, it's bringing in more money to help make all of the things that everybody wants to happen in Oconee County. Second issue is I have been asked to bring it up by the Oconee Crossing residents, is an update on the building plan for the Hammett construction right next to Oconee Crossing. My understanding was that there was an agreement to settle, and we just wanted an update on that.
So that they will be presenting a updated plan. We don't have a timeline on when that occur. That when they submit the plan, it will be posted online just like we did the first time. There will be public hearings and be advertised. We'll put postings back up on the site telling you when that is. They'll be on the website. And then you'll have an opportunity to come and speak once that's revealed what that is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Linda Stallings, and I don't live in this area. I live in Social Circle, but I want you to know I am very social and that I do ride at Heritage Park a lot. I was in a job as a flight attendant for 50 years with Delta Airlines, and my whole life, 50 years of it, was about safety. I grew up in Pony Club in Sandy Springs, Alpharetta. My mother was a big honcho with all of that for many, many years. And my whole horse life was about safety. Not only wearing helmets, but safety vests, riding correct horses, and riding in the correct areas. At Heritage Park, it reminds me of Will's Park many years ago. People could have cared less about the horses. But if you go up to Alpharetta now, their flag has a horse on it. Everything is dedicated to the horse in that area, and they still have all the ball fields that everybody wanted. Maybe the pickleball fields. I haven't been up there since my mom passed away a few years ago, but they are redoing Will's Park, the stabling, the footing. I was so glad when I saw them put a fence down the road. The road that Will's Park's on went directly into Highway 11. And that's how I feel about Heritage Park. You're right on 441. Many, many years ago, I saw my older sister get hit by a car on a horse. And it's not a real pretty sight. And luckily she was okay. But the point is, any horse can get loose with or without a rider and go through the windshield of a car. And on safety facts, that place really needs a fence down the side so horses aren't on 441. They were talking about warm-up areas, the stabling area, the area where you have to park to go on a trail. And I really feel like they could have more trails there with just a little more work. And I'm not complaining about it. It seems like horses get shoved in the background. And they shouldn't be. They're part of the sport. They're part of our history. They have always been there. And I just hope that you consider, even from an outsider who's social, that you think about putting a fence up there, doing like Alpharetta did. They have a horse on their flag now. And I mean, there could be a lot of flags around this area. I couldn't believe the traffic when I came up here the back way. You know, you could have the ball fields, the college, blah, blah, blah. But that's Alpharetta's thing. They want the horse thing. And I just think that Heritage Park could be made safer from a safety net. You know, there's nothing worse than a picture of somebody in the windshield of a car on a horse. So that's my speaking. And I wasn't even going to come here to speak, but as most of my friends here know me, I can't be quiet. So
Thank you.
that's me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth McClaney. I've also lived here for over 30 years and I grew up here. I would like to see the trails at Heritage Park and the warm-up area at Heritage Park too, because I'd like for our kids to have a safe, beautiful place to enjoy their equestrian community for years to come. And it's gorgeous there. So it would be wonderful. We live right down the street from there. So thank you.
Hey, I'm Jean Barsanti. I live on Oliver Bridge Road. And I'm listening to everything that people want and they need in the parks. And Philip and Dan in the back and I are members of the foundation board. And the reason we made the foundation board, which has only been in existence now as a 501c3 for a year, is to help the Parks Department reach some of these project goals because the taxpayer can't do it all. And so that's why we were founded. We are a 501c3, so if you want to make donations, they would be tax deductible. We work very closely with the Parks Department, so we're going to support the project that they support. Right now, the main project that the RAC board has recommended for us to help raise funds for is the Heritage Horse Arena project. Now, there could be a lot of more projects that people want. You need to get organized and work with the Parks Department. But if you need help raising funds, that's what we're there for. I have these cards that are all back of all the tables. If you want to support the Arena Horse Project, you should designate that because that has a separate account at this point. If you want to do a general support, we welcome that also. If you have any questions, each member of the board individually pledges $500 a year to the foundation. So we don't want you to think that we're asking you to put your money where we won't put our money. So please consider supporting us. Thank you.
Hello and good evening. I'm Mike Luffler from Brookshire Drive in Bogart. And the first question I have actually was an omission Ray wanted me to ask. What's the time frame for the potential pickleball improvements or reconstructions or whatever you want to call it project?
So that'll be a SPOS funded project. So what has to happen first, we have the collections, we build tennis courts over at OVP.
Mhm.
Then all those are transferred over and then we can start the reconfiguration of those. 2025, 26 fiscal year is what we're looking at. It's just, if y'all keep spending money and getting that sales tax going, we can do it quicker. So.
Okay. My personal question is, I do an informal pickleball introduction and training session for people that are unfamiliar with the sport on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Herman C. Michael Gym, no charge. But it's very informal. It's part of, quote, the open gym. So I'm asking for a thing that would cost $0. I bet you don't believe that. Is to, if we could just set aside some time, what would be dedicated to introducing the sport for people when the gyms are being manned, and it could be either at Herman Michael or at OVP, so that we can introduce the sport to people and teach people who are absolute beginners or people maybe that are transitioning from tennis to pickleball. Explain, they can usually pick up pickleball pretty quickly, but explain the rules and how it works. They may only have to come 1 or 2 times and they're ready to go. So, but it would be great, and it would be even better if we could do once in a while, not on a, maybe even a firm schedule, an evening or a weekend where people that have heard about the sport are interested, but they have no avenue to try to pick up a paddle and learn how to play the game. One of the problems we have with the current problem with the courts is that we have the 2 courts outdoors and they're available on the weekends. The gym is not. And I've gone by there on Sunday afternoon and there's 50 people waiting to play on 2 courts and only 8 can play at one time. So there's no chance of doing any kind of instruction or introduction during the weekend timeframe. And as the weather gets better, I can only see that numbers crunch getting worse. So if there's any way that we could, and like I say, if it would, at OVP would be a better candidate because I know you keep the building manned for people to use the fitness center. But if there was a time where the gym could be opened up for maybe 2 or 3 hours a week in order to have pickleball instruction, I don't know if you still have nets at the OVP site, but I'm sure we can come up with some nets. I knew the courts are already on the floor, so that wouldn't take any additional cost. So I'm just throwing that out there that we could add that to the weekly, monthly parks calendar to do something along those lines. I'm getting anywhere from 20 to 30 people Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons on 3 courts, and trying to do any instruction is very limited because they want to also learn how to play and play. So we can't really do too much instruction at that time. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Glenn Burrell. Been living in Oconee since 1997. You live out on Barber Creek Road now. I've done a lot of things. First of all, thank y'all for listening to us. Thank y'all for what you do. Got Mark Thomas. He's a former swim parent, so he knows probably what I'm going to talk about. But other than that, basically, I've been involved with the county as far as being a referee and youth basketball for many years. Umpired adult softball and Little League baseball, Little League softball, just a lot of things other than swimming. But I'm here tonight because we need somebody to listen to us. I've got the map from I was here in 2004, 2003, and I have the map where the pool was, and the pool back there is not on that map. And that's really bothersome, John, Mark. Y'all just shoved the pool away because why? We had a gentleman earlier, I don't know him. He said he had some studies. We just know that of all these things we have, there's a certain percentage of courts. Like I said, I played men's tennis. We have certain trails, but we have 0% pool. We have no pool. So that, what's that? We need one. Okay, and we can do a lot with that one. We can do outdoor, we can do things that the Y does for the older people like me starting up. But we can do a lot of things, but you gotta be open-minded. I'm asking you guys to be open-minded. If you've never been, and the other thing is, it's dangerous. We hold big meets at Shamrock, have to park way up the road or down at the bank, walk down the road, get to the pool. We hold meets at Summer Hill. We park and we get in trouble with the sheriff's department. We parking out on the road in front of somebody's house. Now we got doctors, we're parking in their lot and they say, hey, you can't park down here. It's just a really trouble. Plus swimming, everybody wants their children to learn how to swim. Basic swim lessons. Now, where are you going to tell your friends to go? We don't have a facility here in Oconee with all this money we have and all this tax money. Hey, we're just pushing it to the side. Our high schools don't have anywhere to go. You think the University of Georgia wants Oconee County kids to come and work out at the university? Got another thing coming. They could really care less about us putting our high school kids down there. We have big meets in Clark County. You think Clark County really is up for Oconee going over there and having to use their pool for a meet? They're not excited. We're running out of options. You mentioned 2033. That's very alarming to me. 2033, I waited 19 years. And in 2003, we had the highest percentage that did the surveys, 28%. Got it right here. Map right here. Now, why I would like to ask, and I do appreciate what y'all do, why is that pool not on that board down there after it was on there for 19 years? That's my question. You see, I'm pretty much into it. It's just a sad thing for our high school coaches. They have to reach out. So we got all levels. We got swim lessons. We got local leagues that you guys help put us in the state. Why not have to go to Douglas, Georgia? Got a brand new facility. They want to host a meet. Coffee County. Why are they better than us? Let's don't be on the bottom. Y'all might not think it's important, but it's important to a lot of people. Mark is important to your children. He swam on our swim team I was involved with. So I know it's, but those that you hadn't, if you get a chance to come to one of our county meets, please come. You'll see 1,000 people there. We have it at the university when they let us have it, and we got it filled up. Come to a high school meet at the Ramsey Center, and you won't believe it, how many people are there. Please consider. That's all I ask. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Hey, I'm Kim Olson. I live here in Oconee County, and I'm another crazy horse person. Here just to tell you that, we've got the facility. We want to use the facility. We're having to go to Morgan County to hold horse shows or other counties to hold horse shows. So if you guys will consider finishing off what you started, then we can bring money back to the county. Thanks.
Hey, I'm Karen Zarek. I've lived in Oconee County on the corner of Palomino Pass and Hodges Mill for 30 years and have a little tiny farm there. And for the first 10 years we lived there, we had an annual horse show. The last one, we were turning people away 2 weeks before the closing date. I haven't had one since, but there are people that want it. And it doesn't matter if you're into horses. It doesn't matter if y'all like horses or not. I'm just looking at it from purely a financial standpoint. This facility, the heavy lifting's been done. You've got that place there. To me, it only seems logical that the best return on your investment, since there was such a huge initial investment, is to go ahead and just push it over the edge and get it to where it's actually bringing money in. Because right now it's doing nothing but costing y'all money and it's there. And that's all I got to say.
Hey, John. I think you know why I'm here. I'm Carrie Shepherd and I own and operate Shamrock. Took that over from my mom. It's been in operation since 1974. Used to, the private pools could handle our swim program here, but now we just can't. I mean, we turn people away all the time. And I think the county is in such a place now that You know, it's time for a pool that everybody can use. I want everybody to be able to swim, but they can't all swim at my pool. So I just think that it would be a worthwhile investment. Yes, it's expensive up front. Yes, it's expensive to operate. Trust me, I know. But I think you'll get returns on it way on down the line. So I just hope, I'm not a big talker, but I know if my mom was here, she would be talking to you guys. So here I am just encouraging you guys to really think hard about putting in a pool in this great county that I've lived in for 55 years. And I just think it's time. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Jeremy Brubaker. I live in Settlers Ridge and grew up in Oglethorpe County for the first third of my life. Lived in Atlanta for the last third and moved here about 2 years ago. And so it feels a little bit like where I grew up, and hopefully this is where I'll spend the rest of my life. So I guess I've thought about the recreation group and been involved with a lot of things from coaching soccer to flag football to basketball, almost everything that the kids can do here. So as my comments, we're kind of thinking through three things. One, from the kids stage, one, it's really incredible what's here. And, you know, glad that we're talking about more opportunities and space for kids to do stuff. I know when we were in Atlanta, it was just logistically hard to get around places. And so, you know, in the first 2 years we've been here, our kids are probably in more than they should be because we can just get them to lots of places. And we're really thankful for the opportunities. The guys back there from the rec department do an outstanding job facilitating all the events there. So we're really thankful for that. So excited to hear about the potential of another park. The only comment I'd make about OVP is I'd love for there to be another entrance or exit out of there. So to help with traffic, but I'm sure that's probably not the first time that's been brought up. As far as, you know, just at my stage of life, just want to voice support for what Brian Broderick mentioned earlier and just the enhancement of trails. I love the trails at OVP, not just the paved ones, but the dirt ones to walk or run. So the enhancement of those I support. And then honestly, I wasn't really thinking too much about, you know, the future, but, you know, when I'm 20, 30 years from now, I think, well, I probably won't do as much running, probably not much biking, probably less coaching and running around, you know, with my kids. So just support the ideas of the other enhancements to the community, whether it's pickleball or maybe I take up golf or get back into tennis, but those sports that are more lifetime sports or pool, you know, things that would encourage the community as it gets older. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Caffin, and I'm actually out of Jackson County. And I want to thank you all for what you do. I just retired after 31 years in public service. So I know it's not an easy thing to do and to balance all, and particularly my career was in outdoor recreation and trails. But speaking here tonight and thanking you for Heritage Park and the trails there and the arena. And I recognize, having been in the outdoor recreation industry and serving the public, the investment that you already have in the arena. That arena is great. I mean, there's so few arenas that are covered and where we have opportunities to ride. And so to take it to that next level, I think you really would see a return on your investment in terms of, you know, the people coming to this community. I will say, as a trail rider, you know, people don't realize this. Most people think people with horses are rich. Ask my husband. We've only gotten poor, you know, only way to make $1 million in horses is to start with 2 million. And it really isn't a joke, but, you know, my animal is my pet. You know, quite frankly, like people's dogs, they have personalities. But, you know, horses in the wild go 22 miles a day. And when you board a horse and, you know, they're in a stall or they're kept up somewhere, having a place to go with them anymore is so important because the farms are going away. The dirt roads are going away. You used to be able to ride dirt roads, right? And be able to get in some time. And so when you think about horses, you realize that they're an athlete as well. and particularly people that compete, you know, having ability to train those horses and having the space to train those horses is so important. My mountain bike, I can leave in my basement for 6 months and pull it out and it's going to work really well with a little bit of oil. I can't do that with my horse. And, you know, and so they do. And I can take my mountain bike around where I live, you know, pretty easily and find some really great trails. But it's not uncommon for equestrians to go 2 and 3 hours on a day to be able to go ride trails. And I'll honestly tell you, my horse self-loads because she enjoys going places and seeing new things. So just realize that, you know, why you should care about horses. That, I mean, because the horse itself is an individual. And so things are, as the community grows and as we lose farmlands and we lose these opportunities, it makes places like Heritage Park and equestrian trails, you know, even more important. So thank you.
Philip Bernardi, I'm still at Hammond Creek Trail as far as I know. One more thing I didn't add, I just want to thank you all. I serve as the vice chair of Extra Special People in Watkinsville. And I can't thank you all enough for your support of the Miracle Luge Field, giving access to parks for those of all abilities. I just wanted to thank you for that support of that city, county, and private partnership. So thank you all very much.
Jason Nesbitt, I live off of Wellbrook Road. Apologize, just came from practice here, dressed with a cap inside the house. I just have a few things. One, as far as capacity, and just continue to reinforce this. We have a couple of Little League representatives around back, just so everybody in this room knows. I mean, we had right at 1,000 kids register for Little League this year. How did that impact our community? Well, I mean, I'm coaching a coach picks team, and my older son's playing. You know, we're doubling up on field space on a small field, one practicing in the infield and one in the outfield because we don't even have the space. We're out there, we don't know the conditions of the field, if they're going to be ready or not. They're also, with the Little League being with their lease with the county, you have the Parks and Rec making decisions and then the Little League over here and trying to mesh those together. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, everybody's doing a great job, but the communication, it makes it tough. So I also represent a group of young men and women that play, when I say travel baseball. And if you talk to Little League too, we have a huge majority of the older kids that when they get 10, 11 years old that want to play baseball, they go with these travel teams. And these teams are not like teams that are, you know, I'm going to play for Gwinnett. They're local teams. And we right now, our 2 teams that I'm coaching, we have 23 kids. Only 2 don't live in the county, and one work mother drives a school bus for the county, and the other one goes to Prince Avenue. So these are local kids. So what do I bring to that? Absolutely no field space. We can't rent a field. So where do we go? Well, thank goodness for the Tates. I just got back from Tate Field, which is a local field here. We're borrowing fields for them without a light for 22 kids to practice today that are excellent in baseball and are giving it all. And these kids aren't wealthy. Everybody say these travel kids are wealthy. Some of them are, some are not, just like everybody. But we can't get a field to practice on. So where do we go when it rains? We go to Winder. We practice in Winder. Can we host a game here? No, we don't have a field. And that goes, I know the Little League's capacity, but man, for our county, the tax dollars always are putting into, we have to be able to, whether it's Bogart or somewhere, to be able to get a field. The vision, and that's what I'd love y'all to continue to work on. I love it. But the vision is you go and look at, I mean, I don't play soccer. I don't really like the sport, but I know a lot of people and I love a lot of people that do. And when you go and see soccer fields up there, like pack rats up there in this county, there's something's wrong. Because you go to any other county and you look at the facilities, go to Gwinnett, go to Jefferson, even go to, you know, and I hate to say the G word, Gwinnett, but you just go to anywhere around here in the facilities, when you go into them, they're built and well maintained. And we're doing what we could. If resource scarcity wasn't an issue, we could just have everything. So I know this is a decision, but I definitely push if we continue to get this. Lacrosse is becoming big. We need some turf fields. for this. And I know the board, between the Board of Education, school system, and the Parks and Rec, and there's 4 big divisions there that have different ideas and everything. But thank you for what you do. I would love for, somewhere like Bogart, I say that with a growth, to just, let's host a tournament, everyone. And I say that is because there's no sense. North Oconee, I'm an Oconee guy. North Oconee's had the best baseball team probably last 2 years that we've ever had in the state of Georgia. Yet those kids that were playing right up into them, none of them can play a tournament in Oconee County. We got to go to Jefferson. That's sad. But anyway, thank you for your time. God bless you. Y'all have a great night.
My name is David Ellis, and I've lived in Oconee County since the mid-80s. Excuse me. And I'm going to bring up an entirely new subject. The disc golf course at Herman C. Michael Park is in dire need of maintenance. It was built, I think, in 2007. I'm not sure who designed and built it, but it needs all new tee pads. Most of the rubber tee pads that are there now, if it rains, they're underwater for a couple of days. So people start going to the side. A lot of the natural tee pads, because of erosion and use, they're rocky, they're rooty, they're dangerous. You have to be extremely careful. A lot of the beauty of playing disc golf is you're outside in the woods. But if you look around and everywhere you look, you see downed trees, some that have been cut down and pushed to the side. It's aesthetically, it's not as pleasing. Like I said, new tee pads, remove the downfall. Some of the baskets, because of erosion and use, need some kind of mulch or something. Water will stand around them also. And I guess that hole 1, have the pavilion, trash can, recycle. You get halfway through the course before you get to the next trash can, recycle. We could use more of that. I spend a lot of my rounds picking up trash. If we had, hopefully, the trash cans at least every 3 holes, that people would use them instead of just throwing it on the ground. And just in closing, like I said, I don't know who designed and built the course originally, but if we could actually have a disc golf course designer come in and make recommendations to improve the course. It's only, as far as I know, it's the only one in Oconee County, and we are far behind our surrounding counties as far as having a nice disc golf course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kim Thomas. Been a long time Oconee resident. Recently retired from University of Georgia. Yay for me. But I'm coming up with a kind of a slightly different pitch. I don't think I've heard it. I was in the back. I'm also on the Recreation Advisory Committee and was one of the initial board members on the Oconee Parks Foundation. But I'm really concerned about our families. I would like to get the support of the commission so that we can hopefully be able to look into getting the summer day camp back at the rec department. There are quite a number of families that really depend and have depended on the summer day camp. For myself, when I was working, 3 young girls driving back and forth from Oconee to Athens, it was vitally important to have the opportunity to have my kids just go right over to Herman C. Michael and participate in that summer day camp. They went on to become camp advisors, all played soccer, had 3 D1 college athletes from playing and starting right over on our fields. Just vitally important if we can support our families by having that back. And then it kind of ties into support for having more of the multi-use indoor facilities. for basketball and other types of programs. It's really important. And I just want to, just say thank you for what you have done. But also please keep that at the forefront. Thanks.
I'm Wesley Scott. I'm actually, I live at 1381 Arizona Bend in Watkinsville. But I'm here. I am the president of Oconee County Little League. And as you heard, we have 1,000 players this spring. When I took over 5 years ago, we had 700. We're now at 1,000. And as you guys know, that growth isn't going to stop. You would think that I'm here to advocate for more baseball and softball fields. That would be nice, but actually I'm here to advocate for the LAS site. If we were to build that, a lot of the things that take away some of the fields we have now would come back. And then all those programs, which are facing the same problems that we have, would have places to go. So for youth sports in this county, we need more facilities, and we needed it yesterday. And so I just ask you guys to consider that and appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Hi, Jeb Byers, Oconee County resident. Just have a short comment that I'm very in favor of the Rails to Trails programs that are on the map. I think it's great to have places to recreate that are off the road. It's safer for the exercisers, and it's also nice too because it might help to reduce traffic if people use those trails to commute, for example. And to the extent that those trails can actually be hooked up to, say, Clark County, that could even get more bang for our buck in terms of how far those trails can go. So thank you for having that in the plan.
My name is Deborah Lucas, and I'm out in the town of Bishop. And I'm also part of the city council out there. And I came tonight because I heard about the parks and recreation, and we've been toying around with wanting to get a pocket park out in the town of Bishop. And John, you've been to one of our meetings, and I mentioned to you on my way in that was my primary reason for being here. And just like the mayor of Watkinsville said that we're just a little small part of Oconee County, but I certainly want to know if we can do some collaboration and some partnership and, just kind of come out there and help us be able to get this pocket park going or give us some ideas as to what we can do to get it going. We've been playing around with it, giving some ideas, but it would be nice if you guys could, come out and partner with us and do some collaborations and give us some money to get it done. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Katie Collins. I've been a resident of Oconee County for almost 10 years now. I have a 14-year-old that is at Malcolm Bridge Middle School. I have a 12-year-old that's at Malcolm Bridge Middle School, and we've been involved in parks, recreation, and using this county's facilities since we moved here almost 10 years ago. I'm very involved in youth sports, and I want my voice to be heard because I am a loud person. I don't even need this microphone. Everyone would be able to hear me anyways. But I have lots of discussions with people about how we need more facilities and more fields. My boys are football and baseball. So that's kind of where my mindset is right now. But I could tag team on a lot of other people's comments that, yes, I think just more fields in general. You can tell that our community is very active and enjoys being outside, and our community is very family friendly, very wants to spend so much time with their family. And so again, I don't want to be the one in the background that's always nitpicky and say, well, we need this and we need this. So I would like my voice to be heard. And it makes me sad to hear that the proposed plans are 10 years down the road, because I feel like I know my boys, I don't plan on having any more kiddos. And I know my boys won't benefit from those fields. So I hope that we're able to push something a little bit sooner to get something going. And again, I am not just up here talking, I'm very involved. I've been on the ESP board. I was a big part of getting the Miracle Field going. I am Malcolm Bridge Middle School's PTO president. I was High Shields PTO president for the whole years that my kiddos were there. I serve on the Little League board as I was scheduler, and then I got wise and moved to fundraising. So I'm hands-on, and so I would love to help out in any way. I'm naive when it comes to finances, but I would like to help out, and I feel like that our county needs more fields sooner rather than later.
See Miss Jean before you leave. She's got something for you.
Good evening, Dave Yan, Oglethorpe County. I'm here with the Heritage Group and the Horse Clubs. Please do phase 1 at Heritage. That way we can start using the arena for horse shows. We're missing a few key parts to being able to put a safe show on. That'll finish it so we can use it. Future plans, we need more trails. There's plenty of room to expand the trail system there, I'm sure. Thank you for putting a great park together.
Thank you. I'm gonna try.
But I'll get you $500. Y'all gonna match me? Got it? I think I'm gonna put $500 on the stuff. That's how we're gonna have to get some time. Let me give you this little. We can get money to that foundation. We might be able to move a lot quicker. A lot of people have said tonight, I've written down all the things. All of them cost money. I've always said it's just money. I got here in 1980 with my bride with a 2-year-old boy. He's 45 now, and he's out in Texas with his two, but my 2 grandchildren are here. One's 9, one will be 5 next week. They both play soccer. The oldest one plays tennis too. We have been running behind for years. Population gets us, population gets us. I don't think there's anybody up here that doesn't want to see more facilities. We pay the school system to use their facilities. How many of you knew that? Few of you did, some of you did. So we're having to use their facilities. I'm meeting with 2 of them tomorrow, and I'll certainly mention and be an advocate for the swimming pool for their team, the 2 schools, because that's their responsibility. Yes, I'd like to see a lot of things, and we're trying. We are trying. I can remember cutting the little Bogart field when I had a little one on T-ball. So I've done a lot of the volunteer stuff. I had a horse when I was a child. Got bit, thrown, all those kind of things that horses do to. My kids have played sports. I understand, but I'm gonna tell you, not trying to pass the buck, but a lot of counties and cities are eligible for grant money that we can't get. That's just a fact. Why not? Well, it has to do with income. Okay. Clark County gets a bunch of them. You look at their budget versus our budget, and you tell me who's got the most money. So we get kicked to the side. We're up there with, what is it? What's the big county up there? Forsyth County, Fayette County. They're compared to us. Look at their budgets. I think it's an unfair system, but that's the way it is with grants. But I think we're trying as best we can. Let me say this. When Wendell Dawson was the chair, he bought that property, put the LAS site. If he hadn't done that with that commission, we would be in trouble. No county around here that I know of has 250 acres sitting in the center of the county that's going to be turned over to parks. So as fast as we can get, John said a good thing, go out and shop local and get us some money on our supplies. All you folks coming in from these other counties, give her a $500 check and help out the college. Be glad to take it. Go out to Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, do all that, help us out. If you want all this stuff on our county, then go out there and spend some money. That's the way it goes. But we're trying, that's all I can tell you. We are trying every year to get more facilities. We know that. That's why John had this meeting tonight. But it all costs money. I don't care whether it's a swimming pool, whether it's baseball field, lighted fields, whether it's pickleball, you name it, it's just money. So help us out, write that lady a check for $500. Thank y'all.
So about 15 years ago, just up this road, Highway 53 across from Briarwood Baptist, there was a sign that said coming soon YMCA, which would have a swimming pool most likely like they do in Clark, or I guess they still do, and they do. So, but it just kind of vanished. So is that just totally off the table? And then a follow-up question is there any way that we could lobby for the Y to consider putting a facility here that would help with the aquatic center perhaps?
Yeah, so YWCO still owns that property there, as far as I know. And they got caught in a recession on some fundraising, so they had to stop. They've tried to start it back a few times. They had to focus their stuff on taking care of their money on taking care of what they had over there on Research Drive. So there's still interest in one or both organizations coming out here, and we would welcome that for sure. We always look at opportunities to partner with either one of those groups any chance we get. So that'd be a good question to talk to somebody over at the Y or YW and see how far out their plans are at this point. But it's probably been 3 years since I've heard anything from them on that. It's been a great turnout. We thank everybody coming. Appreciate your passion. We are working hard to get these things done. A lot of time and energy has gone in from our staff, from our Recreational Affairs Committee to get these master plans developed. There'll be some other opportunity. We'll take some of the comments we received tonight. We'll go back and make changes as we can. And then there'll be another opportunity for y'all to kind of put your input in it. And then we'll go to work trying to figure out how to pay for it. But, yes, sir.
One thing I forgot to say about the new tee pads that would be great to have at Herman C. Micro Park, preferably concrete. They will last much longer. If not concrete, then properly installed turf tee pads, which may have, like I said, might have to get a disc golf course designer to come in and recommend things. But concrete tee pads will last a lot longer. I don't think any real maintenance has been done on the course since it opened. Thank you.
If you hadn't been back to the master plan and put your comments down there, please do. Y'all have a great evening.